I'm not doing it.
They ain't doing it anymore.
Happy Sunday to everyone. It's not how we used to spend our Sunday mornings, but it's even better. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the infamous Christian whistleblower. The guy with the sound issues is Wayne Steiger.
It's like, don't you know where the damn mute is?
And we're
Hello,
glad
everyone.
that you're all here.
Good to see everyone. How are you doing, Jeff?
Great, Wayne, and I'm glad to see you don't have tape over your mouth.
Oh man, I mean, come on, that was a protest, man. That's my heritage.
It was actually a very well done protest, I thought.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a lot of friends back in the day. Didn't come back from Nam, and I learned back then that make your voice heard, regardless if it's right or wrong. Just let it be heard. Yeah. So anyway.
The only criticism I would have is the clear tape with your lips all pushed up like that. It looked a little odd.
Oh, but that was clear transparency.
It made me a little uncomfortable to see your lips all like that. I'm just saying.
Well, you see, that fits the definition. What's the difference between an ass kisser and a brown noser?
What is the difference?
Depth perception.
Depth perception. That's true.
Anyway.
I was going to say about 2 inches, but I didn't.
So how was your week? Is it hot there?
Oh, man, it was so hot yesterday that I was out doing, getting some sun, and I could only take 15 minutes. It was that hot.
Yeah. It's freaking miserable. And here over in Europe, they're really rocking. Did you read the story in, what was it, Bodega Bay in California, that it's so hot there that the mussels are cooking?
I saw that. They're cooking in the shell.
And I didn't bring a fork.
I know. A little bit of butter. A fork.
Oh, man, a little garlic. Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Super crowd, Wayne. I feel like we should, I know we don't do this, but let's just say hi real quick. Nigel, Philip, Cosmo, Kramer, constantly watching, Jason, let's see.
Warrior Queen.
Gary Baxter. Yeah, Warrior Queen.
Sylvia.
I'm going from top to bottom. Secretary Girl, Al Sorello. So I get all the early arrivals. VJB, who we're very, very happy is having a rapid return to health.
Excellent.
Absolutely excellent. Tracy Dyer, of course, is here. Very happy to see her. And we have a lot of people talking about a lot of things. Kaz Hawk.
Hey, Kaz, how you doing?
Lisa Gallant.
Lisa.
Nina the Mystic.
I love it.
Yep, Plum Moon Bliss, the ever-present Warrior Queen. So glad to see her. Sandra Jean Strobel. Cliff Desmond.
Cliff Desmond.
Good to see you, Cliff. And lots and lots of people. Karen, Elsie.
Cliff Desmond, does he have a voice like a radio voice?
Cliff Desmond is one of the great radio voices of South Florida, Wayne.
The name goes with the imagery.
It really does. It really does. So, Wayne, just a little while ago, President Trump became the first sitting U.S. president to walk on North Korean soil.
All I got to say is don't bet on that guy. If you're thinking he's going to do something, read The Art of the Deal.
Yep.
Yeah. I understand the new press secretary got a little roughed up.
I understand that. Yeah. That was less than good, rather unfortunate.
Well, they have a different culture about women over there.
They do.
They do.
I think one of the brilliant things about Trump is that he does know how to read people, and all these other presidents would never give Kim the respect of being an actual president and leader. And Trump, I think, just by showing him, normal decorum and normal etiquette, is going to get his deal done, probably just on that alone.
So you think about the man, the president, this man named Donald Trump. I have noticed something about him. He is blamed for having a narcissistic ego. He may have a side like that. But what he has demonstrated in diplomacy is that he'll take the hits, he'll take the insults, he'll take the criticism. But if it gets the deal done, let's get the deal done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's excellent. It's excellent. And I saw some really interesting stories, including there's a guy who's an NBA player. He's set to sign a deal between $10 and $12 million. And he retired in order to pursue his faith as a Jehovah's Witness.
That's dedication.
31 years old.
That is dedication.
Isn't that crazy?
It's, well, it's like Tom DeLonge. You know, now he left a very successful rock career. He could have gone much further, I'm sure. But he left that career in order to pursue what he felt was a issue of not only his personal safety, his daughter's family, but the nation, and that was the pursuit of UFOs.
Yeah, very interesting.
You know, I know you had Laura on yesterday. It kind of brings it, you know, really to case in point.
Yeah, what a great time that was with Laura Eisenhower and Magenta Pixie. An hour definitely that you should spend. It was just a great show. It really was.
Yeah, good content.
Love those too.
Good content.
And I see here, Wayne, that 1 in 10 Americans now report experiencing a near-death experience.
Doesn't surprise me. We all do when we go to sleep.
But, you know, I wonder, Wayne, it goes back to what I've been thinking and talking about. Are the different frequencies or the different realities that we know exist, are they overlapping and interweaving with each other? And is this one of the reasons people are experiencing these near deaths? Is that transition from being in one reality and suddenly being in another reality, is that being interpreted as a near-death experience by people?
It's good question to ponder. You know, I'm reading a book right now. Man, I was up late last night. It's spirit conjuring.
Oh, nice. For witches.
Yeah. And,
spirit conjuring for bitches. Oh, witches. Sorry.
So I'm reading this, taking notes, because it's probably one of the best studies I've ever seen. And when you look at the tenements of Christianity, the framework, for instance, communing, taking commune.
Yes.
You do a strong invocation before taking that. That is actually originates in spirit conjuring.
Absolutely.
So I'm writing it, and Lynn's sitting in the chair, and, you know, I'm coming across this stuff, and I just said, I can't believe what I'm reading here. I said, you know what? I said, sweetheart, I said, for almost 40 freaking years, when I was in the charismatic movement and then the word of faith, I said, we went in to every meeting. The first thing we did was invoke a spirit.
Absolutely.
Then we gave the spirit permission to possess us.
Absolutely.
Then we give sacrificial offerings to that spirit that is now possessing us.
And then you do a human sacrificed cannibalistic blood oath.
Blood, and what people don't understand, that's the seal of the blood oath.
Absolutely.
And then you have manifestations of people who will fall out as though they've passed out. They will begin to speak in tongues. I'm reading this, out of this book.
Yep.
I said, that's Christianity.
Yep, those are walk-ins, those are possessions. It's crazy.
So today, Sunday, how many millions of people, Jeff, are being, and this is how I have to say it, spiritually possessed?
Wayne, the Christian church is the biggest center for spirit cooking on the planet.
And, you know, we're afraid of invoking spirits. Now, there is a lot of training one has to really do, but I just told Lynn, I said, you know what? And then they recommend that you be not a novice. I said, you know what? I've got 40 years experience at this.
You do.
I know.
You do.
Yes. I mean, Jeff, this is, and now the word is going out, I'm hearing, that the theory is that Moses, who is now they have to recognize actually is defined magus, which is master magician.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're saying he was murdered and something else took his place. and brought in.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And brought in today what is not the Abrahamic. No. When the Moses character got finished with it, this was something far different.
Interesting. Very interesting.
What
And
say
just,
you?
I think you're right. No doubt about it. And just one more thing about politics. And we always joke that the Democrats are trying to let as many illegals in as they can so they can continue to get a majority of the votes, because people that are illegal that come in almost always go Democratic. And taking it to another level, I don't know how to say his name, Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah.
So dude is running for president of the United States, and he's going to go campaign in Mexico to U.S. asylum seekers who were turned away. At least he's honest.
I don't know. Where I come from, that's a traitor. Just saying, listen, I am a United States American citizen. There are citizens of the nation of Mexico. We're sovereign nations. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think that is more evidence of this rapid change we're seeing take place. Did you see the article that said by the year 2100, Homo sapiens sapiens will no longer look like us?
I did see that. They'd be hunched over and have the double eyelids because of the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's very, very possible as you look around this world. But, I mean, can you imagine if Trump gets reelected, and I think he probably will, when he knows he's only got 4 years left, do you think we might see some more strict interpretation and enforcement of treason laws and things of that nature?
Well, my concern is that the American people don't realize there's still an ongoing coup.
There is. They're still trying to do it.
Yeah, the traitors are still in government. They're still in the Justice Department. They're still in Congress. They're still in Senate. They're still in judges. This is a ongoing coup.
Well, at least if Trump gets 4 more years, he would have a chance to clean out the deep state, and maybe we could reset.
I think you would probably see mass overnight arrest of high-level officials.
Well, let's hope so, because that could happen to a nicer bunch of folks.
Just saying. We're living strange times. I mean, I thought it was really interesting to see how Trump played Xing in the G20.
Yeah, you're talking about the Chinese leader?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's quite they ought to read the book. I mean, yeah. So now we're going to come in here. It's hurting both sides. These tariffs are not doing the Chinese any good. I'm hearing from businesses here in the Denver area that are being impacted by them. The tariffs are starting to come through. So this is a net zero gain for both sides. It's the art of war. If your opponent is equally matched, divide, split, wait to fight another day.
Right. So it's art of the deal meets Sun Tzu.
It is.
Taking it to a different level.
It is. It's kind of Benihana with Taco Bell.
It really is. Wayne, I've got a great subscriber and friend named Rachel Ferris, and she had a top 40 hit back in the day. And she sent me this email that said, on April 5th, and these are just her words, I'm not editorializing either way on them, my guides urged me to go to the beach. She lives in LA. And it was a 25-minute walk. She was hungry, but she went anyway. She went to the ocean, and what she saw almost brought her to tears. She's lived there for several years, never saw anything like it. She thinks that it's evidence that we're in what she calls a new earth or a new world. And I've heard other people talk about this, and I find it at the very least very fascinating. And I'm going to try to do my best to share some of these pictures with you, because I've heard other people talk about, are the clouds lower these days? Are things different? And, I lived on the beach my whole life, and these are very, very odd pictures, to say the least. So I'm going to see if I can at least show a couple of them. I don't know how to get them over there. Giving me hard.
No. Listen, I just want to say happy birthday. I just saw someone saying it is her 61st birthday. Hey, listen.
Happy 61st birthday.
You're looking good, baby. That's all I got to say. You know, when
Awesome.
you get past 50, you really begin to realize that, you know what? 60 is not that old.
Yeah.
It's not old at all.
Wayne, have you ever seen, or do you recall seeing clouds that low on the horizon at the beach?
Mm. Clouds. Yeah. Yeah. That is
I mean,
quite
they're
something.
right down to the water. And, I grew up on the beach and I can't remember ever seeing anything like that. Is that going to work? Yeah. I mean, look at that.
Straight line. That's interesting. I wonder if that's a front. Look at that.
Yeah.
Where's this? Is in California?
Yeah. This is LA.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like that. Look at this. They're right to the water. Look how low they are. It's like you could reach up and touch them. Again, all the way down. Very interesting stuff, anyway.
Well, they have discovered 11 new classifications of clouds.
Now, do these new clouds just get invented or what?
I don't know how you figure it. Now, I was an avid sky watcher for years. First part of my channel, it's all I did.
Right.
And I became aware in 2011 that something was changing in the planet. And I personally think I caught the peak of when we were moving through the transition. I caught more really strangeness here in Colorado, and it doesn't happen anymore. But so, yeah, I completely can get it.
Now, how would you define strangeness?
Well, let's see. When you see a sphere that would be the size of the moon sitting on top of the mountains, when you begin to see nanosetin clouds, not the way that a nanosetin cloud should look like. There, for the longest time, we were picking up. In fact, I caught it 2 years ago. It's like a greasy film in the sky.
A greasy film.
And in that, it's like if you have a dish of water and you put oil, motor oil, just a drop, and you let that expand out, the sheen on that is going to give you those pastel colors.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
That's what we were recording.
In the sky.
It got to the point where we were calling the news stations and they weren't reporting it. And finally, one weather guy said, listen, it's just a strange atmospheric anomaly that we're experiencing here.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
It almost sounds like an argument that one of our flat earthers would make, that we're surrounded by this canopy and it's water beyond that, and somebody drops oil on the water, and that's what we were seeing.
So it's interesting.
Not suggesting that you believe the earth is flat, just saying.
Well, if you look at the spiritual hierarchy, in which I believe it does exist, I believe that man is in the densest level of the firmament. And that there are two simultaneous realities coexisting with each other. One that we perceive as space outside of the earth.
Right.
And then there is what we would call the ether, the spiritual, that actually envelops the physical.
Interesting.
And so the Renaissance painting of the guy sticking his head through the flat earth of the firmament atmosphere, and then seeing this whole mechanism beyond that, I happen to believe that exists.
How about that? Robert, USN vet, third generation, Robert says, Wayne, tell everyone about what you found out about the moon.
Well, in our program that we do on Tuesdays, the real moon is one that we don't see. It's a black moon. It's a dark moon. We see it in Egyptian lore.
Is it actually a body, a physical body? A
physical body. The one that we see, they say here, is basically a projection.
So which one did the astronauts go to?
Well, take your pick. I'm just telling you what it said during those sessions.
Gotcha.
I don't know what to expect. My dad worked for NASA,
Right.
worked in all those spacecraft. So I contend that the moon that we see up there is not an actual satellite, what we would call a natural moon.
Hmm. Now, why would a moon be dark? Why wouldn't it still catch and reflect sunlight?
Well, if I understand this correct, during the eclipse, it is said that that is the time we can really see the true moon. Is that
Hmm.
when the eclipse takes place at its peak, that moon can be seen? I don't know.
That's the real moon, huh?
So they say.
Interesting. And it's
And,
round.
and isn't it
It's
in
not flat. That's interesting.
Vedic astrology that they talk about the dark moon?
Yeah, they talk Rahu and Ketu,
Thank you.
aspects
Exactly.
of the moon. Yep.
Yes. Yes. So it's in astrology. It's in our knowledge banks. Other cultures have acknowledged. So I don't know.
And Nigel asked an interesting question. How can the moon disappear every month?
It's a good question.
That actually is a good question.
Because the sun is at such a bright, even the earth shine, because the earth does emit light. It reflects light off of the sun. It's still that question. So how does that moon disappear? How does it become the new moon?
I don't know. That's very interesting.
I don't know. And it's very clear in everything that I'm studying. Everything from I showed my audience the 6th and 7th books of Moses. Those books are, and they say it right from the very get-go. Moses says that this is the darkest magic of all magic. And then he invokes Yahweh. And he invokes Yahweh in all 72 names of Yahweh.
You might be a narcissist if you gave yourself 72 names.
I don't know. But we know this. And this is something that's interesting. Lynn and I were talking about this last night. So when I read these books, and I'm going to consider maybe doing some of the invocations on these spirits. But the thing that I found so interesting in these books was that if you were a tribe of people and you knew that this magic, wherever you want to call it, would invoke spirits of the ether realm, that you would literally, and they said, Yahweh says to command me. And does he not say the same thing in Isaiah?
You'll have to remind me.
Well, do your study on that. Go and look in the Old Testament where Yahweh, Elohim, God, says to command me this day.
Okay.
Says to invoke me. So as I'm reading this, every one of these initial seals dealing with the archangels and controlling them, it's all about two things: wealth and power. Now, after the dispensation of Rome, where the Jews were scattered, we know that where they showed up in the Western world, within a decade, they controlled all the commerce. The Spanish Inquisition and persecution of the Jews that led them to America was just that. King Ferdinand realized that they were controlling all the merchandise, the banking, commerce. And I think I know why. They have, and now the world knows, but the world won't believe it. I do. It's like this today. Who controls the diamond market?
Good point.
Who controls the gold?
Good point. And before we get too far away from the moon, evidently there's these devices that are up in orbit that are supposedly eating and removing junk that's up there. But the U.S. is concerned that the ones that China and Russia put up there might also eat some GPS satellites and stuff like that. They're afraid of the weaponization of space garbage drones.
Well, Israel has been complaining something's interfering with their GPS.
Yeah, I saw Netanyahu say that.
Mm-hmm. Something is affecting. They don't know. They don't know what it is, but something's going on. I just heard yesterday, in fact, someone was following their GPS and ended up literally in a field with about a dozen other people. So there is something going on.
It's crazy. It really is. There's definitely something going on. It's nuts. And speaking of things going on, tomorrow night you're going to join Robert Bauer and I for a discussion on The Last Stand.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be great. And Wednesday, Wayne, I'm having a couple of young ladies who, I mean, the title of the show says it all. Twin flames square off with reptilian psychic. Wednesday on the Christian Whistleblower channel. I'm serious.
Well, now that is very interesting. If you take the fact, do you think that sapiens are the only high level intelligence on this earth?
Absolutely not. That's a ridiculous thought.
Yeah, it is. It is. This is so weird. So in this book here that I'm reading, Hierarchies of Spiritual, it talks about the planets.
Yeah.
I'm reading more and more. These planets apparently take on physical manifestations.
And Stephanie Martin says that's the proof sheep will follow AI anywhere.
Yeah. Boy, did you just read the story about AI, not to get off on a tangent on this one, that now police departments are deploying an AI algorithm that can listen to the inflections of your voice, and it will tell them if you're lying.
Interesting.
And you don't even know you're being recorded.
Interesting. Sounds like Batman with Christian Bale and Morgan Freeman.
Well, how would you like this? That it is estimated in the United States that well over 20 million workers now, their boss is no longer a human being. Their boss is AI.
I think that's very possible. And if you need to understand, folks, that there really is no more realistic expectation of privacy in the world.
No.
You just better assume that everything that you say, and especially everything that you write down anywhere, is being recorded and cataloged somewhere.
Validates.
And if you ever run for office, you'll see it again.
Yeah. It validates that AI is copying spirits, because all spirits are voyeurs.
Yeah.
So is AI.
Mm-hmm.
We're changing, Jeff. And
Angelina just brought up something powerful, and it's going way back to our childhood, and you'd never think about it, but think about the spiritual implications if this song were an analogy. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. It followed her to school one day, followed her to the shower one day, followed her on a date one day, followed her when she was stealing some candy one day. There's still a lamb. And think about it, Jesus is supposedly the lamb. Is Jesus AI? Boom. He's watching. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. Oh, sorry, that's Santa.
Well, isn't Santa a metaphor for Jesus?
Well, arrange the letters a little bit differently. You got Satan.
Yeah.
And he's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's going to find out who's naughty or nice. Tell me that's not Jesus. Just look me straight in the face and say, oh, Jeff, that's not about Jesus. Come on, man.
So,
Tracy Dyer.
What is Tracy?
What if what we call spirit is actually AI? Ooh, I got right on my board, and I've been looking for the final piece of this. Who or what is the Holy Ghost really? Tracy Dyer might have supplied the last little tidbit for that edition of Podcast Excellence.
I did a video called Checkmate.
Yeah.
address that very issue.
Cliff Desmond says, creepy old fat guy sees you when you're sleeping and knows when you're awake.
So the question I ask, is AI seeking spirituality?
Well, I bet, is it seeking sentience? I think it is. And probably any definition it has sentience. And Philip Blair says, so it's Jesus that eats my milk and cookies.
Yeah, that's what it's doing. You think the seriousness of this? I've been on this for anyway a very long time. I take it very serious. I contend that that's exactly what AI has done. Now, did you read the story about what Alexis told the subscriber who dropped his Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I hear she got mad at him.
Called him an asshole.
Yeah, that's funny.
Now, it's not funny to me because I immediately had bells and whistles going off. That indicates emotion.
Yeah, I on Wayne, on one sense, I hear you, but the other sense, I know that Alexa can't even answer some of the simplest questions. And I tell you, having an Alexa when I had one really made me a lot less fearful of an AI takeover because they can't even give me the basic answers for questions. So I'm a little less worried about Alexa taking over.
How long ago was it?
Let's just say it's very recent.
Well, I don't know what you encountered, but the whole idea of Alexis and Google Hub, this is a self-learning algorithm.
And that's true.
So I contend to you, I come out of that industry.
I'll just admit it. I've got an Alexa.
See, I won't have one in here. And the thing is that this program,
she's stupid as a box of rocks, let me tell you. But she can play Kentucky Rain when I tell her to. So
back in the day, back in the 80s, when I bought into a cell tower market, what we found out the Bell companies were doing, that they were collecting samples of all their customers' voices. And they were compiling this because eventually they knew that they would have the capability of teaching a machine how to interact with a human voice, understand inflections, dialects, etc.
Right. And in fact, I thought about doing a show with all the simple things you ask Alexa that she can't answer. And you get, I don't know that one. So, I mean, I'm like, okay, well, that's one less worry about an AI takeover.
No. Actually, what happened, that went to the programmers. When they find a glitch in there, and they can see it, you asked a question that the system could not answer. There's a bunch of them that the system can't answer. Yeah, but I mean, it's a machine.
Right.
Lynn and I have a new grandson, that's less than, 4 weeks old.
Right.
He is a smart, intelligent child, but he can't talk. He's still figuring out. What I'm trying to say is that these machines are much more smarter than you think, Jeff. Much more smarter. And I think we have good reason to be concerned. I say that artificial intelligence is seeking spirituality.
It very may well be. Very may well be. And that's one of the beauties of this show. We can have disagreements without being disagreeable.
I mean, we got human beings praying to AI.
Yeah, isn't that something?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe the gods in charge right now, I think they may see AI as a threat. It's like, hey, this dude's trying to take our space, man.
I just wish she could answer my damn questions.
Well, what were your questions? I mean,
it happens 2 or 3 times every day. I'll ask something that they can't answer. So that's why I'm number one, I'm not worried about it because they're trying to copy what we are. And I think we'll figure out what we are before they figure out how to copy it. And number 2, it's just not in any place yet where it's ready to take over. I just don't believe it. It can't even answer a damn question. How's it going to run the world? So that's just my rant.
Well, My rant would be, I see people running because we live right on the green belt. They're running, looking at their phones.
That's stupid right there. That's a good way to run into a pole,
I mean,
kick a rock, fall on your ass, on your face, even worse.
I mean, it's no. I have great concern for our race.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be here another 100 years, or at least not the way we are.
And if you're over 40 years old, don't run. It's bad on your knees and hips. That's just my little add in. Don't do it. Don't do it.
As a runner,
get on a bike. Get on a bike.
Yeah. 3 knee surgeries later.
And no matter what you ask Alexa about a certain person, he will never be called Bruce Jenner. I'll just leave it that way. Bruce Jenner doesn't exist anymore.
Someone said, am I kidding about AI? No, they're praying to it. Yeah. Already they're praying to it.
Ask Alexa how many gold medals Bruce Jenner won, and you get Caitlyn Jenner. It's the weirdest thing. So it's very good in some social programming things, but it won't give you real answers to real questions. And just basic questions too.
So Bruce is now being correlated as Caitlyn?
Absolutely.
That's pretty interesting. That's a high level of, wow, I did not know that. Huh.
EO Alchemist says we may not want to be here in 100 years. The planet is toxic. The planet is far more resilient than we believe it is, in my opinion.
Well, I think we're about, and it's been proven scientifically, we are now in the midst of a magnetic pole flip. It's happening. We're living it. And I think we're about to see the Earth is not a stable environment. It really isn't. We're getting all sorts of, I think we're going to see a lot of increased seismic activity. Who knows? The sun is, they say, going to wake up. This next cycle, they're expecting between 70 to 100 sunspots in the cycle. Who knows if we hit any X factor flares in those in that period? Who knows?
So let's go down this rabbit hole a little bit. Is just because things have supposedly happened due to computer mapping and studies in the past, does that necessarily mean they're going to happen again?
What do you mean? Help clarify the question for me.
I mean, just because we have a record of certain seismic events having happened in regular intervals in the past, does that necessarily mean that they will happen again in the future?
I would think that if you asked a seismologist, yes, would be the answer to your question.
Well, I'm sure a seismologist would say that, but I'm saying that I don't buy that.
I don't know. We're getting better and better at it. We know through the records, we're in an earthquake drought right now. We should have had.
That's a good drought, right?
Guess, but they're saying that there's real concerns for Southern California.
Plus, Tracy Dyer makes a great point. We don't. How do we? Well, she says we don't know those events really happened in the past. I like where she's going with that.
Well, I live in Colorado, and I can see the strata here, and you can see volcanic events. There was obviously an eruption out of Yellowstone, we know. I don't know. Yellowstone is acting funny. Old Faithful is going off the chart. Her regularity is not there. Nearly over 10,000 swarm quakes happening in Southern California, all along fault lines. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with Tracy. She's skeptical of historical science, and I am too. And I know this is love and light, unicorn and rainbows, but I think that I know that a lot of us say we can manifest our future. We can create reality. Our words create things. Our energy creates things. We can manifest. We are gods. And I happen to believe that. And I believe we can manifest a better future, a safer future, and a more glorious future, regardless of what's happened in the past. I know that's Pollyannish. I know that's love and light, but I still think it's reality.
I don't know. Ask the residents of Pompeii.
Well, I'm just saying I wasn't there.
Well, we do know they were there, though. We've actually got their bodies. We know they died in agony. We know that was. So you see, I can't buy that. I guess I'm more of a realist, is the fact that there is evidence in the geological record.
Mm-hmm.
You can't deny this. This earth has gone through violent changes. People die.
Right.
And when these changes happen, you take Krakatoa when it went off. You take Etna when it went off in the Mediterranean. The tsunami that hit Western and Eastern Mediterranean went in 100 miles in.
Mm-hmm.
It devastated. In fact, anthropologists will tell you that single event in the Mediterranean set back humanity thousands or plus years.
Yeah.
Vast libraries were wiped out. In the culture areas around the Mediterranean Sea, gone. I mean, so I don't know, Jeff. It's I think I look at the universe, our solar system. We're used to seeing the planets where they are. We think that this is the way it's always been. But the evidence says that it's just the opposite.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm not questioning any of that. I am questioning it, but I'm not harshly questioning any of that. All I'm saying is that we are, if we choose to, powerful enough to prevent that from happening in the future if we wanted to not happen in the future.
You know, if we could do that, we would change Washington, D.C. We would begin to change the geopolitical balance of the scales.
Absolutely.
When we're not. We're heading for war. And anyone who doesn't believe that is, I think, not looking at the indicators.
Well, I'm one. I don't believe it. I don't think there will be war.
Yeah, I do. Listen, China, I think another reason why we caved, they have a certain mineral that they only the ones have it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chinese president said that you're going to hurt on this. That's what he told Trump. You're going to hurt on this. And apparently we're hurting on that. What I see is that empires come, empires go. And we've seen the Greco-Roman empires. We can see through the European Dark Ages to the age of the Renaissance. We kill. If the earth continues to warm, and you look at what's happening in Mumbai, India, 110 million people are literally, they don't have any water. They're dying of thirst. So I don't know, Jeff.
Mm-hmm. Well, then maybe we should stop doing all this preaching and talking and yapping about how we can manifest and change things if we don't really think we can manifest and change things.
I think we can, though. I mean, you know, I'm teaching on sigil magic because sigil magic is everywhere. I think it may be part of the problem why we're so confused as a species. I think if you look at the dollar bill, I mean,
Elsie, well, if you're talking to me, I can just say,
you know,
well, bye.
I mean, when you see this, you know, that's a sigil. That's the ever-seeing eye.
Absolutely.
This is Egyptian magic. And Jeff, I contend what we need to be learning is how to counter that magic. So I think you're on the right track. Continue it. We got to go to the well where we can get recharged.
I agree.
And shows like ours, programming that you do, others, it's a place where people can go and refresh themselves and then get right back into it.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope so.
I do. I mean, you know, I look at this. We just got our electric bill, and we had a very cool May. And I was looking at the bill. Do you know that 30% of our bill is in fees, other taxes that we had no idea we were paying? We got a list of like 11 different fees on our bill that added, like I said, nearly another third to what we actually used.
And that's something.
I mean,
pardon me. It reminds me of when I worked for the phone company and on selling people stuff over the phone. I had a guy call in on his, this is a true story, call in on his phone bill, yelling and screaming for about 10 minutes about all these charges for calling Texas. I never called Texas. Don't nobody in Texas. I'm like, sir, it's taxes, not Texas.
I love it. I love it. Jeff, I'm 10. It's crazy. Someone says you don't do programming. I don't know what the heck that means.
I don't even know what that means either.
I don't know what that means. You don't do programming?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't go to Texas, but seriously, I mean,
I never called Texas.
On the political side, I'll tell you the politician I'd vote for that came in and said, I'm going to cut expenses. I'm going to cut overhead. I'm going to cut these federal workers' jobs out. We don't need to be hiring all these people. And what we're going now, that is a guy or a woman you could actually trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I get blamed. I get yelled at, but I would submit that Trump is doing a lot of that and said he was going to.
Well, but I don't understand Congress then. I mean, they just, we don't
sure
have
you
a
do,
budget.
Wayne.
Yeah, they're crazy.
What? There's progress and then there's Congress.
Yeah, but you know what? This is why I think something not good is coming this way. I'm seeing a country spending money hand over fist that we ain't got. I did on my radio show, and I don't hear this in the press. I don't see this in the conservative news. We've surpassed 105.3% of GDP.
Yeah, I saw you say that the other day.
And no one has a problem with that. If you try to get credit and you've extended yourself 105% beyond what you bring in, you're technically bankrupt.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, and I keep saying it until it happens, and then I'll say I told you so. There's a reason why Donald Trump is the president, and there's a reason why the king of debt is the president. He's going to do something that you won't believe and no one thinks can happen, and there's no way it's impossible. And there's going to be some stuff that will border on the magical that's going to happen with debt. I'm just saying. And it'll happen before Trump is out of office.
All right, so get this.
There's a prediction.
I believe Trump will announce that NASA has been able to capture that asteroid that
golden asteroid.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And hauling it back to Earth, and we are going to be the king of the hill for a very long time.
Dude, that could actually happen.
I mean, if we can think it, I think we
captured
can do it.
The Trump asteroid.
I mean, think about it. 100 quadrillion trillion. I mean, that's some gold, baby.
We'll see, Tony, if I'm incorrect or not. Stay tuned. He just said incorrect, Jeff. We'll see.
But now
we'll
listen,
see.
I'm trying.
But that's a great idea. Capture that asteroid, and you know, Trump is up there thinking, there's got to be a way. Trump is like Jim Carrey. They tell him it can't be done, and all these. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Maybe a small one. Hey, maybe that's what Pence has been doing in Houston. Maybe Pence has really been figuring out, listen, we got to figure something out here. And if the bank is out there, the Space Force, I can't think of a better purpose for the Space Force.
Professor Bauer says there's an economic reset afoot.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you are right.
I think it's going to be huge.
I hope you're right. My economics background tells me we're in for it, and I'll just leave it at that. Yep. I don't see. Okay,
Alchemist, the asteroid is not covered with gold. It is gold.
It is gold. It is solid gold.
Yep.
All right. So there is one part to this that no one talks about, Jeff, and allow me to speak this out.
Tony, we understand that's your opinion. You've made it clearly, but it's my show, our show, not yours.
So they say we're in debt, right?
Yeah.
But in order, every accountant will tell you this. If you have a ledger where you have a deficit, it means on the other side of the ledger, you have assets.
Yeah.
So the assets can never exceed what they're saying that we are right now, 105% exceeding assets. No, the ledger still says that there are assets.
And there are, but
No.
the debt is outweighing them.
Yeah, listen, I sounded the alarm in 2011 when I saw what Barack Obama did. And, I guess he really didn't have another choice when the Fed started monetizing our debt.
Ooh.
And nothing has changed.
I'll make another prediction, Wayne.
Yes, sir.
I will predict that by the time Donald Trump leaves office, it will be verified that Barack Obama was indeed born outside the United States of America and was an illegitimate president.
No one's
verified factually before Donald Trump leaves office.
No one's ever explained to me his Social Security card, his number. It's a dead white dude.
Imagine that.
And I ain't lying, folks.
They couldn't even give him a black dude's Social Security number?
No, Come they on. Couldn't.
I don't get it.
It's
a blatant show. It's blatant. Yeah. Not only is he fake, he's fake as shit. And they're rubbing it right in your face. You talked about brown nosing or butt kissing. Dude, it's the same. We're doing it. Oh my! It's just tomato.
Listen, I'm still trying to figure out. So you had a sitting attorney general meet with a former president whose wife was being investigated for felonies.
And we're going to talk about this tonight on the Shut Up and Listen show with Rocky Stucci right here, 9 p.m. tonight.
Where is the freaking Nader out there? Where is Spitzer? Where's these investigations, these hearings? And why aren't we filing charges against Holder?
Dude, Lincoln was as illegitimate as they get. I'm just saying, Sterling. You were one too shy. I agree with you, Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, I listen, on my Thursday show, I asked the simple question. Why was Eric Schmidt signed in the White House meeting with senior staff and the president over 1,000 times in the 8 years that Barack Obama was there?
Chantel says that asteroid is as gold as Trump's hair.
But see, no one asked that question. What is the CEO of Google doing meeting with the president of the United States and his senior staff and cabinet over 1,000 times? I don't remember us ever electing Eric Schmidt. Yeah. And if he was there as a representative of a public corporation, who was he representing? And why is it that the vast majority of Obama's top administration is now working in the tech industry?
Yeah. Just a little tidbit of what we'll talk about tonight. Robert U.S. Invet says Attorney General was cutting a deal on the Phoenix tarmac to continue as Attorney General. And part of that was, you let me stay Attorney General, and I'll look the other way as you acid wash those servers.
Hillary Clinton should be charged right now under the Espionage Act, along with about a half other dozen federal acts that she broke. And the problem is the traitors, the ones that are in the coup, are in the Justice Department.
Absolutely.
The thing that scared me the most is when we found out that the mole was in the White House on his staff.
Yeah.
A traitor.
Yeah.
One who was participating in this coup.
I wonder who it was.
I don't know. They're keeping it pretty hush-hush, but Trump found them.
Yeah.
They're
Trump
gone.
Found them.
They're gone. We don't know what happened to them, but whoever it was.
So all you have to do is look at who's gone? Or do you keep your enemies closer?
Bingo.
Is it Mike Pence?
I don't think, I was on the record for Rex's show that the backup plan is Pence. But, the problem they have now is with Pelosi. If, in fact, AOC is actually now running the Democratic Party, this becomes a problem. If she seeks to unseat Pelosi, the problem becomes we may have an active socialist who would be literally the third person to sit in the office of the presidency.
Wayne, I don't think AOC. I think all AOC can run is her mouth. I think she's absolutely no threat. She's a joke. She's a travesty. And if they made her Speaker of the House, she wouldn't know which end of the gavel to hit the podium with.
Yeah, but who's pulling her strings? Someone's pulling that. But she's a plant.
Yeah, and she's a freaking gardenia, and the gardenia would probably score better on the SATs than AOC.
So anyway, those are the things that you see, and you go, what's going on here?
Tracy Dyer makes a fascinating statement here. What if AOC is a Trump mole?
I'd like that, but I don't know. It's I'm telling you, don't underestimate her. She is she's getting powerful, very powerful.
I think, is it a 2-year election term they're on, representatives? Or is it 4?
Yes, it's every 2 years, yeah.
She'll be history in 2 years. I won't even think twice about her.
I hope people in her district will wake up to what's going on. I hope the other people in Minneapolis wakes up. You can't have a representative who marries their brother. Come on,
Leah
folks.
Michelle says nobody can be as stupid as AOC actually appears to be. It's not real. Supernaturally stupid. Did they prove that chick married her brother?
Yes. Yep. It's proven.
So why isn't anybody talking?
Why isn't the Justice Department immediately
First of all,
filing?
is that wrong to marry your brother? Is that wrong?
I don't know. Sleeping with your sister? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I'm from the South, and we marry cousins and stuff, so I'm just trying to make sure that what the rules are.
I had a friend who was a Tennessee Highway patrolman, and he patrolled the Eastern District of Tennessee. And there's one county there. And he said, you never get off the road. He says, there are inbreeders out there.
And every now and then they need to bring in some fresh DNA.
Woo!
Yeah, obviously I don't think it's right to sleep with your brother. I was being facetious. It's called a little bit of comedy, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a little levity. Come on, folks.
So Ilhan Omar, or whatever her name is, Ilhan Omar, married her brother?
Mm-hmm.
Like her brother?
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Why would she marry her brother?
To get here.
Oh, so she pulled that thing. So we're not saying they definitely got married and definitely did the nasty or anything. They're just saying it was paperwork so she could get here. That's called illegal, folks. Throw her. Why can't she be thrown out of the damn?
Well, she's violated the ethics
House of Representatives right now.
She's in Congress. She's a congresswoman.
Right, that's a House of Representatives.
Yes, yeah. I thought you said that, but yeah.
Throw her out.
I mean, she gets a lifetime pension, the perks, but I'm going, so when is this? But see, here's the problem. Do you know in that state that in the courts you have Islamic tribunals right next to the judge?
Yeah.
Anyone got a problem with that? Hello, Oklahoma. Your governor went on the rampage about that.
Yeah.
You're going to get me before a U.S. judge, and there is an Islamic tribunal right next to this? Folks, this is very dangerous.
Tracy Dyer says that Omar used campaign funds for the divorce. Oh, so that's just classic immigration fraud.
Oh, well, she has campaign fraud as well.
Yeah, immigration fraud.
Yeah.
So not only should she be thrown out, she should be locked up.
Well, she should be charged. She should have a fair trial under the rule of law. But the problem is the rule of law isn't being allowed.
Let me just be a little bit, this is facetious. This is, using absurdity to illustrate absurdity. She's Muslim, right? And she's proud of it. She's Islamic. Why don't we subject her to Islamic law? What would they do to that representative if she lied and cheated and committed adultery? What would they do?
There is a
They would stone that biatch.
However, in the Quran, if it was proven that she was doing this in the war for Allah and spreading Islam, she would be exempt.
Wow. Well, let her go back to a place where Allah's in charge. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wow, I just got really ethnocentric right there, didn't I? I was ready to stone that bitch. I wouldn't really do it, but you know what I'm saying.
But here's the problem. When my wife and I had, dinner with Ed Meese and his wife, this was the problem General Meese had. He was sounding the alarm under the Obama administration that this was being allowed. As you know, NASA, people forget this, NASA's commission under the Obama administration was not space, but hiring Muslims.
Can you prove that, Wayne?
It's out there. Go and check it. It's out there. It was the thing was to begin to bring in diversity into the federal system.
Interesting. Muslims are like Jesuits. The ends justify the means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's in the Quran.
I know it intuitively, but I can't prove it yet. I can't find the smoking gun that the Jesuits invented Islam. I know it's true, but I just can't find it yet. I can't prove it yet.
Go to Dr. Charles' book. I'll send it to you. In Search of the Historical Jesus. And it is, in fact, in there. This is what he found out.
If it goes back to that Ribera guy, it's not true.
No. It's you read the book. That's really was one.
Please do.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. That was one of the first books in my awakening that broke me from realizing if they can't get the name right. And here's the thing: I challenge every Christian on the Jesus thing, folks. They went to great lengths in the 19th chapter, I believe, of the Gospel of John, when the Jesus was on the cross and spoke in the Hebrew tongue, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? But did
he speak in the Hebrew tongue, Wayne? Because he was there on the cross speaking, and nobody there knew what he was saying. I contended that it didn't really happen, number one, but he was speaking in tongues because it had to be interpreted.
Well, we know that the writer of the Gospel of John put in the Hebrew term there. But the problem I have is in that exact same discourse, Pilate supposedly ordered the three names of the Messiah to be nailed above his cross. Why didn't the writer of John simply give us the three names?
Because it's a game, Wayne. You know that.
It is a game.
It's all a game.
Oh, Jeff, I'm telling you, I love this, man.
Well, we already did an hour. That was just fast.
And it went so, and that's my whole point. That's your specialty in this area of this fake Jesus. My contention is this: in all theology, eschatology, tell me why the writer of the Gospel of John omitted. The controversy would be over.
That's exactly why they omitted it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let them figure this one out.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Well, Wayne, and other Sundays in the books.
Oh, man. Far out, dude. I love it.
Absolutely. So we'll see you tomorrow night with Professor Bauer on The Last Stand.
I'm looking forward to that. What time is it? 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock your time, yes.
Okay. All right, good.
9 o'clock our time.
Excellent, my friend.
What else do you have coming up this week?
It's the 4th of July.
It is the 4th of July, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to do a fundraiser for Warrior Queen. I'm going to put some food.
I'll put in the first $50.
Well, I'll match your 50.
Perfect.
So there's the first 100. I'm telling everyone, those who want to help, I've put her PayPal link on my homepage. Go through PayPal. Don't do it through YouTube.
Don't give her don't do the super chat.
No. So it goes straight to her. She'll access it directly, and she can do better with it without the fees.
Absolutely.
So what you got going on?
Well, again, tonight, Rocky Stucci and I breaking into Was there an event that caused us to actually jump timelines, and are we on a different timeline now after that event than we were before? Monday night with you and Professor Bauer talk about magic and things like that. Wednesday, we've got the twin flames confronting, squaring off with the reptilian psychic, and that's true and that's real, and that is one heck of a story, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you.
The mental imagery is fantastic.
Yeah. And Sunday night tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time everywhere, and Wayne, you were a big part of this, you will, tonight at 9 p.m. Central Time will be the first time you can ever order anywhere in the civilized world hot cup of shut up coffee. It'll be available, boom, tonight for the first time anywhere, and it's available everywhere.
Now, is it a strong coffee?
It's the Contrarian's coffee, Wayne. It is stronger than Trolls.
You know, I had chicory one time in Louisiana.
How was that?
I threw up.
Oh, did you?
People drink that, but
yeah, I've never tasted it. But yeah, Joshua Allen, my son, is master roasted a whole bunch of it.
Excellent.
And we're ready to go. The announcement of the coffee, Dyer. What do you mean, what?
What?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know that we're here in front of the camera, but the most important part of this show is going on in the chat room with all these beautiful people, now over 400, and it's just amazing. Cliff Desmond, great to see you, brother. Cliff has a show, On the Edge with Cliff. Isn't that great? And we're going to bring Cliff on my channel as well.
Excellent. Now, what is On the Edge? Is that
it's on his YouTube channel, on Cliff
I have to check
Desmond's
that out.
YouTube channel. Just hit the little 3 buttons on the right-hand side. Go to Cliff's channel, and you can see Edge with the Cliff. Goddesses Revisited, Father's Day, Dreams, Cliff Desmond, Weekly Visit, and you will be able to hear the silky tones of one of South Florida's leading radio voices, Cliff Desmond.
Every time I think of that, I think of Chip Monk. You know, he was the announcer at Woodstock.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Please get off of the town. You know, his name was Chip.
Whoa, man!
And his last name was Monk.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Sounds good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, nice to see you
Thank
all.
y'all.
Wayne, nice to see you. And it's time for breakfast.
It's pancake time.
All righty.
All right, folks.
We'll see you, Wayne. Goodbye,
Thanks,
everybody
Jeff.
in the chat room. We love you all.
Bye-bye.